channel. In this video lecture, we will cover a new chapter of biology, that is neural control and coordination. So let's begin with today's video. The process through which two or more organs interact and complement the function of one another is termed as coordination. The neural system and the endocrine system coordinates and integrates all activities of the body so that they function in a synchronized fashion. Let us learn in detail the process of neural control and coordination. Neural system, it comprises highly specialized cells known as neurons, which can receive and transmit different kinds of signals. In lower invertebrates such as Hydra, a network of neurons is found. The neural system in insects consists of numerous ganglia and neural tissues. It is highly developed in vertebrates. Human nervous system. The human nervous system is divided into the following parts: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Central nervous system. In the vertebrates, the central nervous system is the hollow dorsal non-ganglionated, whereas in the invertebrates it is ventral solid and contains ganglions. The central nervous system is further divided into spinal cord and brain. Peripheral nervous system, it is made up of nerves which extends between central nervous system and body parts. It comprises cranial and spinal nerves. It controls all voluntary functions of the body. Autonomic nervous system is made up of nerve fibers and control involuntary functions of the body. It is composed of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Neurons are composed of three major parts: cell body, dendrites and axon. The cytoplasm of the cell body contains cell organelles and few granules known as Nissls granules. Dendrites are short fibers which repeatedly branch and emerge out of the cell body. They transmit impulse towards the cell body. Axons are long fibers whose distal end is branched. Then axon transmit nerve impulse from the cell body to synapse. The axon can be myelinated and non-myelinated. The Schwann cell enclose the myelinated nerve fibers and form the myelin sheath around the axon. Then conduction of nerve impulse. When neurons are in their resting phase, the axon membrane is the more permeable to potassium ions but impermeable to sodium ions. And the negatively charged proteins found in axoplasm Plasma in axon contains a low concentration of sodium ions and a greater concentration of potassium ions and proteins. However, the liquid outside the axon contain a high sodium ion concentration and low potassium ion concentration, thus forming a concentration gradient. Active transport of ions takes place across the membrane by the sodium-potassium pump, where 3 ions of sodium are transported outwards and 2 ions of potassium move into the cell, as a result of which the outer surface of the membrane turns positively charged while the inner surface gets a negatively charged. Hence, the cell is in a polarized state, developing a resting potential. When a stimuli is applied at the site on a polarized membrane, the membrane becomes freely permeable to sodium ions. Hence, sodium ion moves into the cell. The outer side of the membrane gets negatively charged while the inner side is positively charged. Now the membrane is in a depolarized state. The electric potential difference produced across the plasma membrane at the site is known as action potential. This area becomes a stimulus for the neighboring area of the membrane, which become depolarized. The previous membrane gets repolarized due to the movement of sodium ions outside the cell. This is how impulses are conducted. Transmission of nerve impulse. Nerve impulse are transmitted from one neuron to another neuron through synapses, which are formed by membrane of a presynaptic and postsynaptic neuron. Synapses are of two types, electric and chemical. When an impulse reaches the axon terminal, it triggers the movement of the synaptic vesicles towards the membrane. The plasma membrane and the vesicle fuses and release neurotransmitters in the synaptic cleft, which in turn bind to specific receptors found on the postsynaptic membrane. This is a diagram of the brain. First is the parietal lobe, then occipital lobes, third cerebellum, spinal cord, temporal lobe and frontal lobe. Then reflex action and reflex arc. The process of responding to a peripheral nerve stimulating occur involuntary requiring the involvement of a part of a CNS known as reflex action. The reflex pathway consists of at least one efferent neuron and one afferent neuron. The efferent neuron receives signals from sensory organs and transmits them to the central nervous system, and then the efferent neuron transmits signal from CNS to the effector organ. Then human eye. Eyes are the most important organ of the human body. The wall of the eyeball is composed of three layers. The external layer that comprises a dense connective tissue known as sclera. The interior portion of it is the cornea. The middle layer of a choroid consists of several blood vessels. The ciliary body itself continues forward, forming a pigmented and opaque structure called iris. The eyeball consists of a transparent lens held in place by ligaments joined to the ciliary body. The aperture surrounded by the iris in front of the lens is the pupil, whose diameter is regulated by muscle fiber of the iris. Then this is the structure of the eye. First is the optic nerve, second optic disc, third foveus centralis, fourth retina, fifth sclera, sixth choroid, seventh ciliary body, eighth lens, ninth cornea, 10th pupil, 11th aqueous body, 12th iris, 13th suspensory ligament, 14th vitreous body. Then human ear. The ear performs two sensory functions, hearing and maintaining body balance. The human ear can be divided into outer ear, middle ear and inner ear. The outer ear comprises external auditory meatus and pinna. The pinna collects vibration producing sounds. The external auditory meatus extends to the eardrum. This is the structure of ear. Then the middle ear comprises ossicles called bullous, incus and stapes attached to one another. The middle ear cavity is connected with the pharynx through the eustachian tube. It helps in equalizing the pressure on either side of the eardrum. The inner ear, called labyrinth, is made up of two parts, the bony and the membranous labyrinthis. So this much for today's video. Hope you liked it and understood it. Thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel, and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos too. Thank you.